Previous media demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio check.
Papa Echo November, good afternoon, Q5.
Good afternoon, read Q5 as well, Papa Echo November.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Previous media demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio.
Today I updated my star from the backseat of a driverless car. I always know right where you are. Now I'm a robot getting cut off at the bar. I'm a robot getting cut off at the bar. I'm a robot getting cut off at the bar. Mail order, there you are. I wore it for the ones who went to war. Hey, maybe I did take it all too far. Now I'm a robot getting cut off at the bar. I'm a robot getting cut off at the bar. I'm a robot getting cut off at the bar. Couldn't stop myself if I wanted to. Look out, girl, cause I'm headed for you. Okay, got to go now. Got the call, can't stick around. Couldn't stop myself if I wanted to. Look out, girl, cause I'm headed for you. Since time began, I've always been just one man. And if it wasn't for that girl from Mars, I'd just be a robot getting cut off at the bar. Just be a robot getting cut off at the bar. Just be a robot getting cut off at the bar. Be a robot getting cut off at the bar. Just be a robot getting cut off at the bar. Just be a robot getting cut off at the bar. Oh, yeah. Hey, Wendy. Good evening. From what? What were you listening to that on? Here we go. I'm back in my body, back behind my eyes. I'm back in control. I'm ready to drive back behind the wheel. Are you ready to ride on into a field off road, into the night, into the night, into the night, into the night. All systems go. American Night Owl is filmed before a live webcast audience. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the show. Good to see everybody. Hey there. Nathan Moore at your service. American Night Owl. This shirt might be too much for the camera. I might break my new camera with this shirt. Radio's cranked by the river in my car. I'm sitting here thinking about you. And the night I wished on that falling star, and the day that wish came true. I'm sitting on the porch and the fireflies are lighting up the trees, and I'm ferried off to a world, another world where I'm about to be married. Cruel world, you ain't so tough. To a fool for true love. Hey, Carl. on top of the spring house. That's where we first found love. Yeah, that's where I told you I love you. Baby, I love you so much. Some folks worry about what they have, some about what they have not. My baby and me just have to laugh. That's why we're tying the knot. Cruel world, you ain't so tough. To a fool for true love. out there. I'll officially say hello here in a second. Let me catch my breath. Welcome to the show. Just getting warmed up. Be right back. Yeah. American Night Out. Breaking news here at Hippie Fiasco Rides Again headquarters. We now have a hotline. That's right, folks. 540-999-1712. That's 540-999-1712. Call anytime, day or night, and leave a message. I will use these messages to inform the show. You can ask a question, tell us a joke, start a conversation, make a noise. Hotline! Hotline, folks. 540-999-1712. Have fun with it. I know I will. You can rant if you want. Go off. Get it out. Turn it loose. Hotline! I always said that the moment that the news started saying, we want to know what you think, was the end of civilization. But now here I am. I want to know what you think. I really do. We have a hotline, 540-999-1712. Hey, if it's the end of civilization, we might as well get all this out. Up, and away. 540-999-1712. Read us a poem. If you really get into character, I got puppets all over the place. I'd be happy to put a puppet to your teleplay, to your radio drama. Call the hotline, 540-999-1712. You know, I know what I would do without you, and I don't want to do it anymore. Call the hotline, 540-999-1712. It's big news, folks. You should blink that. There you go. Yeah. That's some blinkable material right there. Hotline, 540. What is it? 999-1712. That's right. You got it. You got it. All right. Looking forward to hearing from you. Do it. Do it. That's right, next Friday, Friday night, get right, Puppets in the Disco. Get your puppets ready, it's gonna be fun. Everybody should join our Discord server. If you're out there, come on in. This shows you how you get there. There's a description in the link. There it is. Home sweet home. So long, Facebook. Hello, Discord. Yum.
Hippie Fiasco.
American Night Out. Who, me? Who, me? Hey out there. How's it going? Love the hotline. Pretty psyched about it.
There was a call earlier on the hotline.
So I was writing something the other day, and I came up with a metaphor, and I used, pioneering on the frontier as part of the metaphor. I wasn't referring to actual pioneers on the frontier, but later somebody brought it to my attention that that's a sensitive pairing of words, and I should really be careful about using that. And I was kind of forced to face my own sensitivity on that, because obviously pioneering the frontier refers to America going west and genocide and all the horrible stuff. Not that it's a laughing matter, but I guess I don't think about it that way normally. I just think about the words, and not the actions behind the words, which is, oh goodness, I just go down a rabbit hole when I start talking myself through it and wondering how sensitive I need to be to that, which is, a lot of everybody's question these days with political correctness and white fragility. So I'm just leaving it here because I don't know where else to leave it. Okay.
It's a good call. That's a good call. It's a interesting dilemma. Do I have stuff on my nose? It's not even really a dilemma. It's just a natural process. But, we live in interesting times, too. I guess there's just so many trees we could bark up with that thought. Is there a question? I wonder. I don't even know if there is a question. It's sort of just an observation. Here's an example. I can relate to this on a million different levels, but recently, Ethan Hawkins did a cover of "Understand Under," and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is a great version of the song." And but at one point, I'm like, "Wait a second, what did he say? What did he just say?" I couldn't even understand what he said. It wasn't what I wrote. I knew that. I called him up. I was like, "So what do you say there?" He says, "I want to be a cowboy and a now boy." He didn't want to put the cowboy and Indian trope out there, and I couldn't blame him. I was proud of him. I was like, "Well, that's cool. All right. I will not object." Sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow when your words are changed. But I thought that was a noble thing indeed. Now, the next time I sang that song myself, I still sang cowboy and an Indian. I want to be a cowboy and an Indian, because I know how I meant it, and it rhymes. I want to be a stand-up comedian. I want to start a new twist in philosophy. I want to be a cowboy and an Indian. I want to be an E.E. Cummings apostrophe. If I was going to change it, it would have to be like I want to be a footnote in a compendium or something like that. I want to be a stand-up comedian. I want to start a new twist in philosophy. I want to be a cliff note in a compendium. I don't know. But that one phrase is a whole conversation. There's so many good points to be made, and I completely understand why Ethan didn't want to sing that, and completely approve, and in fact I'm proud of him. And I think that it's a natural evolution of things. These things are natural parts of the process. Our language and so attitudes and so many things have changed over the years, and they'll continue to change. And our language is a reflection of our intentions. And a lot, by the time our intentions change, the language has to catch up. And there's just 100 ways of looking at it. It's a very natural process. Now, the way it gets, at the same time, the natural process of this would be slowly through community to community, word of mouth. Each little community would basically have its own dialect, its own words, its own. Just watched Mayor of Easttown. What a great series that was. And of course, they focus a lot on a very regional dialect. Fascinating stuff. But so normally that would be slowly, and then there would be no, when you met a stranger, there would be no expectation that they would speak the same, that they would have gotten a memo. You never, in the old days, you never expected that someone already got the memo. These days, with social media and with everything being immediate and with things been hashed over and over and over again, it's so easy to treat people like, how could you not know this? It's, and that's a conundrum we've talked about many times on the show of how could you not know this is just an interesting time. We're at a very fascinating new era in human civilization and culture, humanity, a new epoch of just the fact that I can say anything right now and everybody in the world can hear it all at once. I mean, that's just, it's all brand new. It's all, we're just entering into it. And at the same time, we've gotten so scientific that things that were based more on faith and mythology and interesting stories and crazy belief systems, they don't stand up to the scrutiny of science the way they did just like 50 years ago, 60 years, 100 years ago. We were still like anything was possible. Magician's heyday was, the early 1900s. But, we still believed all kinds of stuff. So now we live in this world where we think we basically can approach everything scientifically, rationally, without faith. And these natural processes are evolving, and, we're all on social media. I'm trying to, did I veer completely off the road? Am I on a new path now? My subconscious knows they're related. That's what I believe. The subconscious, the conscious mind, is where the ego lives and where you see things as separate things. Where the conscious mind sees how everything is. The unconscious, subconscious mind sees the connections, how everything's connected. And that's what the part of me that writes songs, is tapping into that subconscious like a well. And it's interesting because it can pull from several places. It could be like, all right, it rhymes with this and it means this, and like 3 different parts of the Venn diagram that has to intersect and become the right line. Yet another path. Here we are. Welcome. You are now a member of the Free Association. You've already paid your dues. Welcome aboard. But it's completely natural. An unfortunate dynamic thing that happens is that how could you, which is so close to how dare you. How could you not know this? That there is this interesting dynamic in the world that I don't quite know how to process this shaming, this it's like, it does feel like a lot of times that there's just might be this real eureka moment where the monster you actually are is revealed. It's proven. I knew you were a monster. Here's the proof. And maybe we're all, I don't know, I'm personally afraid of being a monster. So it's a very threatening moment all of a sudden when really, you just, your intention couldn't be pure. And it's, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it, with any of that. How could you not know? I would say that. Maybe you guys can help me in the chat. Noah says, let's see. Let me just go back even further. The times, they are changing. Absolutely. And they always have been, and they always will be. I think it's very possible that the future will be completely vegetarian, and just anyone driving a gas guzzling vehicle to a barbecue would be batshit crazy, scary people. I mean, if we you know, it's anything's possible. Christo says he might have to paint after dinner. I'll play some music while you paint. PC is the new thing. It's, you know, the PC. Ben says PC is the new thing. PC is really old, you know. And one thing that a lot of people forget is the original critics of political correctness were all the left. It was, you know, Bill Maher's show was called Politically Incorrect way back in the day, mocking political correctness. George Carlin had endless bits about how political correctness was a softening of the language and fascist in nature, and held over you by judgmental totalitarians. You know, there's so many angles to this. What is new is the right criticizing political correctness. Now, you know, when Carlin was criticizing it, he was criticizing liberals. It wasn't that political correctness was necessarily a right-wing thing. But I mean, there's always been some version of that. Some version of, I mean, gosh, I remember when I was a kid, being an atheist was pretty. If you didn't believe in God, that was a pretty scary terrain you were entering. You know, and especially if you did it publicly. I mean, it was terrifying. Nobody was brave enough to do that. Talking about getting canceled. But these energies have always existed. Just ways that we, you know, everything from our shadow selves to in-group bias to all these things as they manifest over time. I mean, it seems to me like throughout the course of human history, we started as animals and we're evolving towards God. That's sort of the way I looked at it. We started as we couldn't talk or anything for a long time, for thousands and thousands of years. And slowly, we started discovering things and inventing tools and making fire. Still basically animals with fire and simple pictures on cave walls. Few words. Men and women, a few words. I mean, it's absolutely astounding how incredibly barbaric human history has been. God, you study human history, and it was like up until yesterday, people would just, you know, line up and shoot each other and see who had more. I mean, they would just line up. All right, ready? And they would count to 3. There'd be a woman in the middle of them with a handkerchief, throwing it down on 3, and the men would just shoot each other. That's how humanity rolled. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff to work through. We're still doing it today. We're still doing it today, often in the name of religion, but also in the name of your king, your territory, your tribe, your whatever you call it. But for me, like I've written songs. I've definitely changed words. I'm not firm against it or anything. It's just that one line and understand under that I just haven't changed yet. I'm not saying I never will, and I'm not steadfast against it. I'm open to any conversation in that direction. Just at the moment, I still feel like my intention is so pure and the rhyme is so spot on, and I've sung it that way for years, and I know where I'm coming from on that. So, but at the same time, the idea that you would inadvertently cause someone to be uncomfortable or cause them pain is a scary thing. But then, I mean, like Noah says here, please keep it one man's opinion. And he's also alluding to the idea that I mean, it's not that you can draw a line somewhere, but there is a difference between one person that doesn't like something. It's a tough one, because what do they say about art? Art is its job is to afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted, or or something. I don't know what is that phrase. It's something like that. It's to bring discomfort to the comfortable and vice versa. Bring comfort to the people that are struggling, and I like that. I like that. I think that's a good creed. So in that sense, like it also points out to like who you're offending matters. I think it does. I think that's true. But I've definitely changed words. I struggled for a long, because I write about God a lot in my songs, and I remember back in college or somewhere around there, like being like, why do we always call God he? And I really struggled with that. Why is God a he? But then sometimes it would come out in a song, and it felt so forced and like not coming to change it, like so. Be like, oh no, and like that, it feels weird in writing to be like, oh wait, yes, that came naturally, that's what came from a pure place, but we should probably change it because of how it might. But at the same time, you do it. I said do. I think there's probably a point in time when you couldn't say doo-doo on TV. Look at us now. But now I forget what I was saying. Art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. See? I like that. Banksy. It's a tough one. But what makes it, why this is such an interesting conversation now? Like, think about having the same conversation 20 years ago, before the internet. It would be like, I mean, and those things happened in our lifetime. Like, I mean, I think we tried to go from black to African American, and now I guess we're back to black. Or both, or all of the above. But it's interesting watching the history of that. But a lot of that started, before the internet, I think. And but things would be a completely different conversation, and you can't just immediately like have the whole world be like, hey. And you couldn't say anything. I mean, it's not just that the people are ready to pounce on you for the things you say. It's also the fact that you can say something and the whole world hears it. That wasn't true when I was a kid. I just remember this story about Patrick Henry was giving it was like the little blurb underneath the picture in the history book. Patrick Henry, I think it was Patrick, somebody, giving a speech in a bar. And I'm like, wow, so this guy gave a speech in a bar. And I'm reading about it. It was such a good speech, and he made it at the bars. Somebody wrote it down. I headed right to the bar. But my speeches sucked. So that didn't work. Thank God the internet came along eventually. But the internet changes everything. Now you can say something and the whole world hears it all at once. And then you have to deal with that. And if you're using unevolved if there's a bunch of people in the world that have decided, I'm not going to use that word anymore. I'm not going to call the Washington Redskins anymore. Then, I mean, as the number of people feel that way, increases, the more you're going to get blowback. It's just it's a completely natural thing. As painful as it all is, we're all thankful for this stuff. This curve towards connection and love and empathy and God. And they say the arc of history is slow or something, but it arcs towards justice. Oh, man, I'm just the terriblest quoter. But you have to roll with it. I know the pain of expressing an unevolved take on something, and it's powerful and it's palpable, and it's so scary, especially when you like to think of yourself as being that you're in some way leading the evolution. You thought you were leading the evolution. Well, you were when you were young. When you were young, you were leading you were a revolutionary. But then eventually, time and history dictates that your time will come when the youth, because the youth comes in even going a little fat, they pick up where you left off right out of the gate. And then they got the energy to lap you. And you get lapped. Next thing you know, you're the one that has to be overthrown because you're in the way. And it's just natural, and it's sad, and it's hard to take that. But you're in the way. I'm basically in the way. Luckily I'm a little bit of Peter Pan, so I don't know. I hold on to false hope. No one will ever take my false hope away from me, ever. I will hold on to it till the bitter end. But I know I'm in the way. I get it. I still think, the thing that's so frustrating at my age is when a young person treats you like you're in the way. It is like, the thing that's not true about that is that doesn't mean I have nothing to teach you. Because that's the thing I think we lose a lot. Yes, I'm in the way, but on your way over me, go through me. Don't just go over me. Go through me, because you'll be better off on the other side if you go through me. And that's my advice for you revolutionaries. Oh, goodness. What, God? What did I say? What did I say? I'm sorry. I take it back. What did I say? Oh, I'm going to be out of focus now. Got this thing on the manual focus. I can fix it pretty quick, though. That should do it. But yeah, that's a great... Thanks for leaving that message on the hotline on inspiring thought that is. Now, pioneering the frontier. Should we talk about it now specifically? Like should I use this? Should I use that phrase specifically? I don't know. Should I sing Pioneer Snail right now or what? I've used the word. I just snorted. You know why? It's because I've been watching Katharine Hepburn interviews and channeling her. Little obsessed at the moment. But I do believe that was Katharine Hepburn's snort there. Sweet. Highlight. Amy says yes. Yeah. I've used that word. Now, pioneering the frontier is a little bit more specific, for sure. It's a tough one. There's a Ken Burns special on the West that is really, really nuanced and worth watching. There's so many stories unfolded in that whole era, and so many of them were so horrific that it's hard to even catch your breath to also understand that a lot of the romanticizing of that era wasn't completely inappropriate, and there were a lot of individuals out there. It wasn't just, it was just, just depends on what part of it you want to talk about, and there's just a lot of stories, a lot of stories really happened and are worth telling, and are fun to hear, and yeah, they're all worth telling. All of it's worth telling. And I do think we'll get to, as we evolve, some things rise up, with a ferocity at first because they have to get heard and to get noticed and to get done. But then, over time, things get more nuanced again as it falls back into actual life, into actual people. It's filtered, disseminated through humanity. A lot of, the one thing that's fascinating with all these conversations is there's so many conversations that we have that are really hard for most people to have. Like if I'm sitting around with a bunch of musicians talking music and you're not a musician, after a while, pretty quickly, you're going to be like, oh my God, I hate this. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, oh, I love the fourth that you threw in that, in that minor song, We have shortcuts, and even if we didn't have not only are we speaking in shortcuts, we're using shortcuts to refer to things that took us our entire lives to truly deeply understand and appreciate the use of it, how important it was, how much it really mattered, how neat that fourth is, significant. And a lot of these conversations that we have, political correctness or whatever it is, are being held by people that studied this stuff for years, did research, speak in a certain language. And, and a lot of people are, some people are smart enough to pick up on the language and stuff like that and get a general sense of things. I do that with a lot of things. Like, I sort of understand, might convince myself like, oh yeah, I got it. I could watch a couple of videos on EQing a piece of music and be like, okay, I completely get it. I understand it. But still, it's going to take me years to appreciate it, to use it, to employ it. So we get these people start talking about different things, about right and wrong, culture, political correctness, perspective, empathy, all these things. But there's so many people that are so far ahead of the curve in terms of their upbringing, probably, and then on to good education, and then on to having these conversations many times, studying it, maybe even writing books. Like they're at a certain level, and I think two things happen. One is I don't think people respect their experience and their wisdom enough. And I think a lot of times they don't appreciate what idiots we are sometimes. I mean, all right, I was trying to be funny, but I meant it to a certain, like they can't respect our ignorance. And ignorance is not idiocy. Ignorance is never being exposed to something. But then there's this gestation period between being exposed to something and actually being able to appreciate it and to employ it. And so many conversations are had between people that are still in that gray area, and everybody's terrible at these conversations because that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I really think people can't completely. I see it in conversation, like online here, with like a lot of upheavals happen in this community because of the Confederate soldiers statue. Like the high school was named after a Confederate soldier. The marquee above the town said Stonewall Jackson. Both in the last year are gone. It is now Stanton High, not Robert E. Lee, and the Stonewall Jackson that was the postcard marquee of Stanton, Virginia for my whole life is no longer a part of our skyline. And it's awesome. It's great. But a lot of people really struggle with it because it's part of their identity. They graduated from Robert E. Lee. They've always seen that, and they never really thought about some of the deeper issues. And but I see these conversations unfolding, and I'm just like, it really a lot of times is like a musician and a rocket scientist and a baker and a nurse or whatever, like all. I don't know. That wasn't a very good analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Like there's. I think a lot of times people get frustrated and judge people that aren't really capable of understanding what you're saying. Like for a million reasons. There's just so many reasons. It's not that they'll never get it. It's not that they just can't get it right now. And you're just like, oh my God, you must be the worst person because you can't get this right now. But think of anybody tried to teach you anything that way. If you were learning calculus and somebody just eventually was like, how could you not get it yet? Like you must be a terrible person because you don't understand this stuff yet. I know that's hard to believe, but it's really like that. And there's so many things. It's just such an interesting thing, and people shouldn't pretend. No, I'm about to run off the rails. Should probably, you know what? I want to correct something for the record. The other night I played "You Got This," and it wasn't the right audio. It wasn't from the record. It was the demo audio, not the finished album version. And I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't sleep that night. And now I can't find that playlist. Oh my God. All right, it's no longer smooth. You're stuck with me. Oh, no, I just found it. Haha.
yes, you know life's finest teachers, the ones to show us how to do what must be done. And I don't mean abstractly, I mean matter-of-factly. The nuts and bolts of flying to the sun. But who can show us where to look? How will we know what must be done? I know it's written in a million books, but we can't read every one. Some say God has a plan for every woman, child, and man. Of all the things to think that might be true. And I don't mean abstractly, I mean matter-of-factly. I can't play piano, can you? But who can show us what it meant when first a string tied to a bow? How do we find our instrument? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? It's a sort of prayer to get up and go out there, to know your feet can find a sacred path. And I don't mean abstractly, I mean matter-of-factly. Once you're on it, you ain't ever looking back. I have no idea how it works from where we get our gifts, but each of us, I'm sure, something nobody else is. You got this, 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 you got Okay,
Tomorrow night, folks, we're back, and we're back. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Dad will be joining me with 20 more questions.
okay, Google it.
The one with the most right answers first in the chat will win 2 bottles of Taos Hum hot sauce. You heard me. 2 bottles of Taos Hum. Make it stop. American Night Owl. All right, well, sing you a couple songs and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow night, too, for American Night Owl. But at 8 o'clock, yep, Dad will be here for some OK Google It. He's got 20 questions. He's ready. I'll dedicate this one to this guy. One of Betty's snails. Looks like a spiral. How about that? All right, let's do a little calisthenics here. Let's see how fast I can get a background behind this. Let's see. Oh man, not that fast. And the snail attacked the dog. Breaking news here on Heavy Fiasco. On Monday, a snail attacked a dog. On Wednesday, it successfully knocked the dog off of its pedestal. Well, that wasn't too quick. It is glass, and now that you say that, I'm like, oh my God, it's sort of precariously perched over there. I better be careful. I should not get too carried away. Pioneer snail blazing a trail, blazing a trail. Wait, blazing a trail, blazing. All right. Pioneer snail blazing a trail, blazing a trail, blazing a trail. Lord knows it's hard to fail when you're just along for the ride. I've been building a hobo's home, and a hobo's home. It's going wherever you want to go and never ever having to hide. Oh, soldier, oh, holy, oh, summer night. Oh, baby, oh, hold me. I've been feeling alright. Someday everybody's gonna know my name, gonna know my name, gonna know my name. After that, things won't be the same. We better enjoy this while we can. Someday I'm gonna get a hero's cape, a hero's cape, a hero's cape. And when they tie it on, it's gonna be too late. I'll be flying round Neverland. Oh, soldier, oh, holy, oh, summer night. Oh, baby, oh, hold me. I've been feeling alright. Daggone hole. Made my living in a minor key, in a minor key, in a minor key. Turns out a lot of folks are a lot like me, and we all spend a long time falling. Well, I'm heading back to baby steps, back to baby steps, back to baby steps. Almost forgotten how good and big they can get when you spend a long time crawling. Oh, soldier, oh, holy, oh, summer night. Oh, baby, oh, hold me. I've been feeling alright. I was trying to scan my brain for songs I wrote with problematic, unevolved language. I definitely, there's songs I won't sing anymore because, not because necessarily of a line particularly, but definitely wrote a lot from a unevolved view of women when I, whereas, even just like girl or baby and things like that, much less deeper stuff. But there's some songs about women I wouldn't sing anymore. First he didn't know, and he didn't know that he didn't know. Then he didn't know, but he knew that he didn't know. Later he knew, but he didn't know that he knew. And at last he knew, and he knew that he knew. He was not alone. Put that on my tombstone. He rode every road and he rode down the river and sang every song that he sung for the lovers that leapt from the ledge, hung up in the night. He took it and shook it as he looked for the light that couldn't be shown. Put that on my tombstone. But if somebody laughed, he'd second the motion, and though he defied it, believed deep in the notion that to write the line where the sky meets the ocean, you gotta breathe in the air like it's some kind of potion. Each breath a wild wind to blow. Put that on my tombstone. Well, he fought the good fight and he fled without grieving. In small-minded rooms he said, I believe I'll be leaving. And he hung his hat with a woman he loved, knew how to take it, enough is enough. He was not unknown. Put that on my tombstone. It has been too long since I sang that one. Very fun, very fun. Well, gosh, Poverty of Mr. Stone, I don't think I would remember any of it. You might have won. You might have beat me on that. How's it start? Let's see if Percy knows. We're going to Discord. So Ben asked earlier. He's like, "What good is Discord if you can't watch the show in it?" And boy, wouldn't it be amazing if you could watch the show? We've tried to do it in like a voice channel, but there's a 20 person limit, and it's really messes my computer up. Let's see if I can multitask. Let's see. Percentage sign, like dog ears. Yep. Percy, fetch. Oh wait, I didn't do it right. It's percentage sign. I already had it. Fetch Poverty of Mr. Stone. But here's one thing that's cool that you can do in Discord. See, Discord's also fun when I'm not on the air. It's a place to hang out when I'm not live. This stuff is always here. It's like a Facebook wall. You can go to the porch and share, like, you know, just stop by from time to time, share a link, share something interesting, stick a GIF in here for later. Oh, I wish I'd seen this a little bit ago. Where have you been all my life? It's a little bit harder to really take advantage of the GIFs or GIFs when I'm by myself. Let's say, you know, get the party started. Then we can do this all night long. Let's see if all right, no match got a light, he says. Percy Radio, Carl's talking about here, down here in the voice channels. This is where the disco is. This is where you're going to come in with your puppet. Join the voice channel, the disco, cut on your camera, get your puppet ready. Even if your puppet is just 2 fingers that you draw a face on, right there is a good place for a space. You'll be on the show, dancing in the disco with your puppet. Next Friday, June 18th. All right, but unfortunately, Percy was never taught the poverty of Mr. Stone. We'll have to change that. Noah says, I could sing it for you another time. Call the hotline. When it comes to you, call the hotline. Leave me a message. I'm sure there's something I said or did that mismake. Yeah. In a flicker of the night of the past that just mismaking my memory. I'm sure there's something I said or did to which now I disagree. Yep. I wrote that song before the internet. You're very beautiful, all of you. Thanks for watching. Tell all your friends about the show. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Dad. Okay, Google it. And then American Night Out tomorrow night. Try to think of a magic trick for you for tomorrow night. It's going to be a miracle. It's going to be a freaking miracle. Tell your mom, tell your pa. What's the leaving song, though? Let's step back into Discord one last time and ask Percy to bring the request. Just see if anything's come through here. Holler and hope silly like a goose. Haven't done that yet, have we? I just saw some cat action, but I think it went the other way. I need to get a new C harmonica. That hole keeps locking up. It's ridiculous. Gummy bears. So glad the world can't hear my thoughts. If the world could hear my thoughts, from this world I'd likely be shot like a cannonball. I leave the light on, yes I do. Climb up to where I love the view. Sometimes the dark comes shining through like a cannonball. The cuckoo bird is not the best. Watch it rob the robin's nest. Watch it swallow the swallow's eggs. Such a sweet song. And I would never think to judge. There's nothing evil in a flood. Don't worry, I forgive you, bud. Such a sweet song. For everything there is a time. For every justice there's a crime. We might not see, we might not shine. Someone will. And when you fall down in a hole, you don't care who drops the rope. All you can do is holler and hope. Someone will. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. By the way, I just plopped $20 down to boost the post on Facebook for the Puppets in the Disco show. So I'm gonna push this thing hard, see what happens. Gonna give it all I got. Any help, I'll take it. Whatever you can do. Anybody know a skywriter? Anybody got a friend that, remember when we used to just write things in the sky? Oh, that's too bad. When I had a gal, she was the prettiest gal. She turned me on, then turned me loose. Now she won't even be my pal. Silly like a goose. Silly like a goose, y'all. Silly you are, silly you'll always be. 'Cause the cure for life will kill you, boy. Gather around, let's make some noise. Everything happens on Tuesday in this town. I go to town and I walk around in the middle of town. There hangs a noose. Hangman wears a black evening gown. Silly like a goose. Silly like a goose, y'all. Silly you are, silly you'll always be. 'Cause the cure for life will kill you, boys. Gather round, let's make some noise. Everything happens on Tuesday in this town. We do have to have a board meeting soon. Magpie was bringing up the point the other night, that she misses the gifts or gifs being in the live chat. If you do put them there, there's nothing really wrong with that. I don't know. We should talk about it. I can see both sides, but I've made a pros and cons list, and I think, I don't know. They tried to catch a train, it was a westward train. Almost caught that thing by the caboose. And now I'm sleeping out in the rain. Silly like a goose. Silly like a goose, y'all. Silly you are, silly you'll always be. 'Cause the cure for life will kill you, boy. Gather round, let's make some noise. Everything happens on Tuesday in this town. careful in the Discord. You know, sometimes you'll be in the disco and forget about it. I'm glad I didn't change my clothes or something. I had forgotten all about it. But there I am. Look, I'm in the disco. Hey, I'll rock out. There's nobody at the disco. Now I can shine. I'll show you how to, if you get stuck in the disco next Friday night, here's all you gotta do. You'll be stuck in there and be like, oh my God, how do I get out? Stop looking at me. Wait. Right there, that red button. Oh, I'm disconnected. No longer connected. You can see right there on the disco, no longer connected. All right, enough with the tutorial. Rock me to sleep. He's a good boy. I like that. That acoustic loop is nice. Let's just check it out for a second. In oh, here he comes again, huh? Did you call him again? Oh, look at that. The Lord has mercy. Get a puppy named Percy. He's the one who's gonna get us out of here. He's got a head with wings. I can just picture him flying. He knows 64 tricks. His favorite toys are sticks. And you know I bet he'd bite a burglar's behind. He's got no idea we haven't got it down. But how do you know you're broke? How do you know you're fine? How do you know your joke is funny when everybody's crying? Oh! Junkyard, I found the car, the one I thought would get us out of here. Gave them all our money, now it's out on the lawn. It's a 64 Chevy, oh, the backseat's empty. There's a cactus on the engine, in the trunk there's a daisy. We've been fogging up the windows, people say we're too far gone. How do you know you're broke? How do you know you're fine? How do you know your joke is funny when everybody's crying? When everybody's crying. Whoa. You're the ones that brought Percy into this.
What? Who? Me? Oh God! What? What? What is that? What? Oh no! What? No! No! Somebody help me! Oh my God! Oh my God! Get me out of here! This is ridiculous! This is ridiculous! Oh my God! What is it? What? Oh my God! No! 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 Anybody out there help me? Nightly? Nightly, are you, where are you? Nightly! I heard you yelling, where up? Nightly? Nightly? Here's your poem. Oh, I didn't forget you. Be silly. Be honest. And always trust your cape. And I know I have some Edgar Allan Poe around here somewhere. That's what we need right now. Edgar Allan Poe. That song I wrote, thought that was the one that was gonna get us out of here. Sang my heart out and I put it online. It's got 64 views, I got some email news to the precious few who choose to pay me some mind. I think I did it. I finally did it last time.
From childhood's hour I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent to the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.